The warnings couldn't be clearer. Get out now or risk dying. The American state of Florida has seen its largest evacuation in at least a decade as Hurricane Milton edges closer to shore. More than 5 million residents have been told to leave before the Category 4 system bears down on the state's west coast. Milton is being labelled the worst storm to make landfall in more than a century. The storm has brushed Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, causing widespread evacuations there. It's currently churning its way through the Gulf of Mexico and is on track for a direct hit on Sarasota in a matter of hours. 250 km/h winds and a storm surge of at least 10 feet, roughly 4 metres, is expected when Milton crosses the coast.
And while there is the hope that it will weaken more before landfall, there is high confidence that this hurricane is going to pack a major punch and do an awful lot of damage.
Many communities in Hurricane Milton's path do not have a moment to catch their breath between Helene and Milton. 2 historic storms in 2 weeks. I want to thank everyone who has followed local guidance to evacuate ahead of landfall. I know it's really tough leaving behind your home, your belongings, everything you own. But I urge everyone in Hurricane Milton's path to follow all safety instructions as we head to the next 24 hours. It's literally a matter of life and death.
James Matthews followed this update a short time ago.
It's interesting listening to Ron DeSantis, the governor. He has echoed the warnings of recent days from various local officials about the danger of death. They realise they're up against the challenge of complacency, of hurricane fatigue in Florida, where they have had the warnings, they have sat tight and survived. The message this time is that it's different this time. That's why they are rolling out the figures of wind speed, 180 miles an hour as this storm makes its way. A storm surge now up to 12 feet. That's the depth of water due forecast to come ashore and travel deep inland. That's the kind of storm surge that killed people in Hurricane Helene within the past 2 weeks. And, you know, these verbal warnings are reinforced by the destructive power of Helene. That killed more than 230 people. And I've spoken to a few people who say that that is the trigger for them to get out of town. And get out of town they are. I'm in Tampa. And the streets are empty. Overwhelmingly, the population has made its way to safety, whether that's out of the state itself or to emergency shelters. There is a particular concern here in Tampa, of course, because it's an urban area, built up, population 400,000. They haven't had a storm, a hurricane here the size of the power of Milton for more than 100 years. So given the concentration of people in this particular part of Florida, that is a huge concern. We have the mayor of Tampa saying if you stay in an evacuation zone, you are going to die. She's describing houses today in evacuation zones as coffins. So that's the kind of language that is being used alongside one sheriff who this morning has said to people, members of the local population, if you are going to stay in your house when you've been told to vacate, write your name and next of kin on your arm so that we know to whom we should deliver you when you die. That's the kind of language being used in Florida this morning.